Hey everybody, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to talk about Halo Infinite, the first flight that happened last week. I got to play it a bunch. I got to play a bit with my brother, which was a great time. And yeah, let's jump right into it. So first of all, I just wanted to say and really make clear, this was not a beta. So for anyone who isn't sure, this was not a beta. 343 was very clear about that. This was a technical flight. This is basically just them checking on all their background services, all the things you don't normally see. So this was a 2-month-old build of the game. So they said there's going to be problems, there's going to be issues. I personally, other than the fact that it's early, it's not released yet, I didn't have any major issues. Performance actually ran pretty good. Computer on my PC, it actually had a bit of a lot more stuttering when it came to frame rate and how smooth everything ran. But on the Series X, that thing, that ran really well. That ran butter. I loved that experience. So let's start with what was available in this technical flight. 343 wanted to test out all their backend services, or a bunch of them. But I think it had a lot to do with the purchasing, making sure matchmaking worked, making sure that matches were filled with we were going against bots, so you had 4v4 bots or whatever it was, 5v5, something like that, and you want to make sure that your team is populated with a full team and not just one under or two under. So that was something that they're wanting to make sure everything's working well there, so that stuff doesn't come up at launch. So that's kind of what this was for. It wasn't to see if weapons are balanced. It wasn't I'm sure they're going to use that information, but I don't think that was the focus for this flight. Could be wrong, but that's what I got from it. So yeah, this basically covered a bunch of different weapon tests where you could go into a little firing range and you could shoot off at different bots running around. You had a level 1, 2, and 3 star, or a level 1, 2, and 3 challenge basically for each weapon that was available during this flight. So you had the plasma pistol, you had the battle rifle, and the classic weapons, and then you had some new ones the heat wave, or what was it? There's this big, I want to call it the brute spiker, but I think the spiker's a weapon from Halo 3. So but it was basically, think of it's huge, bulky, kind of like a rocket launcher. I don't think I have footage of it, and it shoots a big spike. It's kind of like a sniper rifle for brutes. Yeah, you could just try out all these different weapons, and the level 1, 2, and 3 was different from each other just by how much the bots that you're trying to shoot moved around. So level 1, they're pretty much just standing there. Level 2, they're moving around a little bit. Level 3, you have some more obstacles in the way, and they would duck and stand up and things like that while running around. So that was neat. Other than that, you basically had the multiplayer, and you had your team versus a team of bots. And they started out at Marine level, which is basically dumb difficulty. Dip your toe into multiplayer and fight some Marine bots and not feel like you're going to be overwhelmed. You can learn about how grenades are a big part of multiplayer, right? And that's not something that you would get in Call of Duty. You're not tossing a grenade around every single corner. You don't always have grenades on you, and that's just something that's kind of fun to get back into in Halo. I totally forgot how much grenades are a part of the main gameplay. That was good to get used to. Then they turned up the difficulty to ODST level, and then by the end of the test, I think by Sunday, they had them turned up to Spartan level difficulty, which is basically, I think that's the hardest one. Those bots were actually they were able to really bounce their grenades off the smallest piece of geometry and actually ricochet a grenade right over to where you are just by quick maths. And it was a fun time, and obviously a little ridiculous at other times, but yeah, the whole time my brother and I were playing, we never lost a match. So the bots aren't incredibly difficult, but yeah, just jumping back into Halo for the first time in years, and when I say that, I mean really getting into a multiplayer match. I played Halo, but I've been mostly just playing campaign from the Master Chief Collection, so this was really special. Let's get into what was it like to play this technical flight in the multiplayer. How did it feel? How is it compared to other Halos? Let's start with the guns. Your starter kit in this game is the assault rifle and the new pistol, which still has a zoom, and it just fires a lot faster than other Halo pistols that I've been to. I think it's closer to, I think they had one very similar to it in ODST. The starter kit's actually very, very strong, and this is the first Halo game where I actually enjoyed using the assault rifle. That's the other thing. I found I always drop the assault rifle, right? You keep the pistol because it's if someone's shield's gone, that's a one-hit headshot, right? But the assault rifle, you always need a little bit more time to finish off a person. So I've usually like stay away from it. But this assault rifle is actually pretty solid, and I actually love the feel of it. I love how much bloom the weapon has to the cursor. Just think it's all awesome stuff. So the assault rifle also had a bit of a competitor, and that was the Commando Rifle. It was another assault rifle that had a bit more punch to it, and it really, really did well when you could hit your shots. I found it had a bit too much recoil for me on controller. I was using controller the whole time. I didn't use mouse and keyboard because I suck at that, and I have never put the time into learning. I hope to in the future, but realistically, it'll probably never happen. So, using the Commando Rifle, that thing kills fast. It's got a small clip to make up for that. It's basically strong bullets, smaller clip, slower fire rate than the regular assault rifle, and yeah, it can shred, but it's got a bit of a kick, and you got to keep that under control. We also have the needler. It's back. It's great. It's the tracking on those needles is like just perfect. I think it's pretty forgiving. And but it's not too much. Like, you can still strafe out of the way of those needles if you're far enough away. We also have the plasma pistol. It's a little bit more realistic to kill enemies by just rapidly shooting it. I don't have a clip of that, but then of course your charge shot and then melee right after, that's still there. Or charge shot, switch to pistol, finish someone off, that's still there.
Worth it though.
So we still have the battle rifle, and it works great. It's basically like a 4-shot kill, I think, a 4-burst kill, and yeah, like I found it felt long, but when I started comparing it to Halo 3 or like back to the older ones, like it's pretty much on par with like Halo 3, how long it takes to kill with that one. Oh, that gravity hammer is amazing. It just, the sound design, the look of it, everything just feels incredible. Like, you can tell it has weight when you see your Spartan running and you have the bit of a bob to the arms. Like, it looks like this thing is heavy, and when you slam that thing down, sound effects, and when you see that little red X because you know you slammed somebody with that thing and they're dead, oh, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. And when you pair it with equipment, which you can also find on the map, like grapple hook, you can make some fun plays that just make you feel like a badass. Another one of the weapons was the plasma caster. It shoots like a burst of 3 slow-moving projectiles that seem to home in a little bit. They have a bit of tracking. They can kind of dial in as long as your cursor, your aimer reticle has turned red when you're shooting. It seems to have a good amount of tracking to go and hit them. I haven't played with it enough. I was not good with it. I found the projectiles move too slow, in my opinion. It's probably just right, and I just didn't get my full grasp of how to use it. But I didn't like it personally. Who knows? But anyways, very interesting weapon. Okay, the music and the sound design is chef's kiss. Just beautiful. I love the sound of the shield when it's recharging after you've taken damage. I love the sound of the weapons, all the little clicks and metallic sounds from grenades hitting the ground, the sounds of enemies fighting in the distance. It's just amazing. Like, listen to the sounds in these clips. The sounds are so well put together, and I just think it's just, it's so beautiful. I love it. I love it so much.
No coming back from that. Killing spree.
So beyond power weapons and other weapons and equipment and whatever on the map, you also had your classic overshield and invisibility power-ups, whatever you want to call them, that you could get in the game. So The way they work in this one, in Infinite, compared to other games, is when you would run through it in, say, Halo 3 or Halo Reach, you run through an invisibility upgrade, you would actually just go invisible right away. And same with the overshield. You get your extra overshield instantly, and it would start to decay right from there. Now you can pick it up as equipment, and you can use it whenever you think is the right time to use it. So pick up an overshield, decide to use it once you grab the gravity hammer and you want to charge at people, right? Give you a little bit of extra time to get close. So that's fun. I love that you have the choice of when you want to use it, and that you don't have to use it as soon as you run through. In this game, you can actually, like, your walking speed is actually very, very fast. Like, the walking speed is fantastic. It's not quite like Doomslayer moving speed, but it is quick, and it is what you would want if you didn't have a sprint option. But then, of course, there's a ton of people who really want to have sprint. Just as many don't want sprint, I'm sure. But they added sprint, and I think it feels like it's maybe a 10, maybe 15% increase in speed. It's not much, and but it is enough to like close in that gap if you're trying to get close enough for a back smack or something like that. Mantling and like climbing up ledges feels great. It's quick. It doesn't make you feel slow. And sliding, I didn't find that great. It didn't really seem to slide long enough, in my opinion. So I don't know why I would ever use that option, but it's there. So when your match is over, you have your end screen, and it'll show you stuff like how many kills you got, how many deaths you got, your accuracy, which is a new one and something I appreciate but also hate at the same time because it's never good. And you also have your power weapon kills counter, so I guess if you just get some real good strong power weapons, it'll kind of show you like, well, you got 20 kills, but 10 of them are probably from the power weapons, so it kind of like evens that out instead of you seeming like a badass for just killing people with a rocket launcher or something like that. And then you have all your medals that you earned underneath. The battle pass. That is going to be an interesting one, because right now, the way it was in this test, you didn't get experience points for doing matches. I feel like that's going to be permanent. I feel like that, or at least at launch, that's how it's going to be, because they're testing all those things for this flight. So why would you add experience points being obtained and battle pass levels going up during this? Like, why would you do that for launch if you're not going to do it during this test, when you're trying to test battle pass purchases and what you acquire through it? In this battle pass, the only way to level it up is by completing weekly and daily challenges, and each one will give you a specific 100 experience points, 200 experience points, or something like that. And that is how you're going to be leveling up your battle pass. So on one side, it's like it takes away maybe the excitement of, hey, we did really good, we won this match. It kind of takes away the like winning a little bit. Like if you can't get a little bit extra experience points for winning, that like kind of takes that away, where you're just going to have a bunch of people in a match maybe just focusing on their challenge and like, all I need is a sniper rifle kill, so everyone's huddling around the sniper rifle spawn waiting for that thing. I don't know, but you can also switch your challenges if you have I don't know what it's called, I'm going to say a swap token. You can acquire those through the battle pass as well, as like these little tokens you can use to change out a challenge that might be a little bit too difficult for you. So for me, if it was like kill 2 enemies with 1 grenade or something like that, I'm making that up, but if that was something I got, I'd want to switch that out for hoping that it was just punch 5 guys in the back or something like that. So the armor customization looks incredible. You got your helmet, you got your visor, you got your shoulders, you got your hands, you got your feet, you got your butt. I don't know, you got a bit of everything going on in this customization screen, where you can just like change everything about your Spartan, all your armor. You can change your armor core, and this is going to be really fun to dive into at launch and see what kind of stuff we can upgrade and get. Your colors, though, are now, I'm going to call it a skin, but it's what's it called? A wrap? I don't know. It's something else, but yeah, your color is now tied to a preset like skin that your character is going to wear. So when you unlock a new skin, and maybe it'll have some green and some white, it's predetermined whether that white goes on the shoulder or the helmet or wherever it ends up being. That is predetermined, and then you can choose your armor beyond that. Something worth noting that I think is really, really important and really cool that they're doing is they don't just have 2 body types, right? So They don't say male, female, or whatever, right? But they just have, you have your thicker one, you have your skinnier one, and you have your in the middle one. So I think it's great that there's not just 2 body types like a lot of games do, and you just do 3 and just call it A, B, and C. Perfect, no problem. Then we also have a ton of like different graphical options. You can go into your settings and change like everything. I'm sure that this isn't even complete. Even if it is, like, I'd be happy with what we had there. Not all the options actually did something though in this test, so I didn't try all of them, or I wasn't able to see what they all did. But there was a ton of great options in there, like being able to swap between which monitor you want to be. You want to have your game on. Like, I love that in a setting, and not a lot of games do it. Because sometimes, like for example, I have my smaller monitor as my primary for reasons, and then my 4K one is my secondary monitor. So games always load on my primary smaller monitor that's a 1080p, and I want it to always play on my 4K monitor. So I usually go into those settings and the game needs to be playing on my secondary monitor, not my primary. And not a lot of games have that option, so I appreciated that. I also appreciated that you can now offset how far your hands holding your weapon, that little, like having your hands in front of your screen, holding the weapon. You can choose how far left and right and up and down your hands are. So do you want it to block more of your screen? Do you want it more off to the side? And you can change that for your pistols and your assault rifles and like your melee weapons all separately. So if you think your gravity hammer is way too far in your face and you want to move it off to the side so you get more view, do it, and it won't affect your assault rifles. It won't make that pushed off too far to the side. I just think that's super, super cool, really, really awesome. Beyond that, you can also change the outside line of the enemies and your teammates and your fire team, essentially, like your actual party, because everybody has a little outline glow. Since everyone can have their own colors, how are you supposed to know what an enemy is or what's a friendly? You have these little outline, you'll see enemies are glowing red at default, and you can change the color to a bunch of different options, and I think that's really cool as well. Then we have our AI. Your AI is like your own Cortana, and you get your own. Now, they're different shapes, they have different voices, and they all have different names. I can't remember all of them. You can choose an AI and then change its color, and I just think this is one of the best additions to the game that really makes you feel like you're not alone. I had a few matches where I played by myself against, of course it's bots, but you're playing on a team with other people, and if you don't feel like talking to people, this AI just makes you feel cool, makes you feel important, makes you feel like you have that buddy there, but like, oh, nice job, like you did a great job. And I think that's so important right now. I think that's so special and so fun. Like, I have a few clips here and I'll just play them. Look at this, and this is just fun, just having commentary from somebody else on what you just did, whether it's a stealth kill, a multi-kill, grappling through the sky and having the AI say, oh, I'm gonna throw up, or something like that. It's just fun. So, if I look really tired, that's because I am. It's 4:30-ish in the morning. I can't sleep. My back was thrown out yesterday. It hurts like heck. But I really wanted to make this video. It's already been a week since this flight happened, and I mean, I want to make a video, so sitting in the chair, we're gonna do it. And yeah, so if I look tired, that's why. Just tired and sore. Oh, and it's my birthday today, so that's special. In conclusion, yes, I loved Halo Infinite multiplayer. I am so excited. I am sold on day one. I need to find all the energy drinks and get all the double XP and find all the items that I can find for skins and whatnot. I am a sucker for this. I haven't played Halo multiplayer and been excited for it since, oh, it's got to be like 12 years or something now. So I am very, very excited now. This was a fantastic experience. Even knowing that it was early, there were many times that I forgot it was. That's how well this played. So 343, fantastic job. Really appreciate all the hard work you guys put into this game. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.